Hello, yes, and welcome to another episode of MLS Ireland. Well, I'll be bringing to you my predictions for this week's MLS games. We're into week 22. Anyway, stay tuned. Perfect, thank you very much for joining me. Yes, my name is Sean and these are my predictions, and if you're new to this, hit the subscribe button. I got a wild good influx of subscribers and a lot of viewers last time, so that's pretty good, and thank you very much for subscribing if you did, and if you haven't, you can. Anyway, I know I'm late, so I don't want to take up much more of your time. I did actually did pretty well on my last one. I think Toronto was probably the only game really let me down. I had a few bets on, and they're the one that kind of balls it all up. But they're coming up against probably an easier opposition this week, but I'll get to that. Obviously, the first game is the Texas game, is FC Dallas against Houston and Dynamo. FC Dallas are the favourites in this to win this one. I do agree that they're probably going to be the favourites to win this one. They're 18th in the form in the last 8 games, so coming up against the Houston, who are 23rd, which is pretty poor. FC Dallas, I'm predicting to win this one. They won their last game against Inter Miami. Houston lost their last game against FC Los Angeles. Yeah, I'm going to go for an FC Dallas win on this one. I don't see it going to be a high scoring game, so I'm going to go for a 1-0 win. These two teams don't really have many goal scorers in their league, in their teams, so yeah, probably just a 1-1 draw. 1-0 to FC Dallas. Next one is Nashville against Chicago Fire. Nashville, actually, I think they're the favourites one in this one as well. Chicago Fire, they're actually not doing too badly in the form. Whereabouts are they? Chicago Fire is about 12th, whereas Minnesota are 11th, and Nashville are 10th. So when you think about it, that's probably where they probably should be. They should be, really. I think Nashville probably are the favourites coming into this one. They don't really score many goals, and Chicago Fire don't really score that many goals, whereas Nashville are probably the better defenders coming into this one. So I would say Nashville probably going to win this one. I don't see it going to be a huge scoring game. It probably could be like a 2-1 win to Nashville. They're looking good at the moment, and their defense, like I said, next season I would see them kind of going climbing up now the league if they get a good striker or a good midfielder, because they've already have probably the best defender apart from Apara in the league. So I think Nashville should win that one. Columbus Crew against Philadelphia. Columbus Crew in our 5th in the overall. In the last 8 games, they're 20th. They've only won 2 games in the last 8, which is pretty bleak going for a team who are doing very, very well. And they're coming up against a team who I suspected to be the winners, even though I did say that they're still probably got a lot of youth in their squad. And they're probably coming up against a Columbus Crew team who are a bit more savvy. But saying that, who is the favourites in this one? It's pretty hard to tell. It's not really any one of them could really be winning this one. Do I think Philadelphia may slip up in this one? I do think so. I may go as far as like a 1-1 draw. Philadelphia are not setting the world alight away from home, so I'm going to go for like a 1-1 draw on that one. The next one is New York City FC against New York Red Bulls. New York City are actually the favourites in this one, as you can tell. 8-13. These are all 365 kind of predictions on the time of me recording this, obviously. So yeah, I would probably agree to a certain extent if they filled me with that they could do this well. In the last 4 games, they're probably doing not too bad. In the reform thing, they've won. They're like 4th in the last 8 games, which is pretty impressive for a team who didn't look too great. They beat Toronto 1-0, like I was saying. The one game that kind of let me down, and they beat Montreal, but they got beat by Columbus. So they're not great away from home, even though they beat Toronto, which is a pretty surprising one. But they're coming up against New York Red Bulls team who are still still finding their feet. So yeah, I think this could be an interesting one. I'm going to go for like a 2-1 win to New York City FC. They're just probably the better team at the moment, coming in form. So yeah, I'll go for that one. Next one is Montreal against Orlando. Orlando were strange this season. They started off so goddamn well, then they kind of dipped. Kind of in the last 8 games, their form is not pretty impressive. They're 9th, which isn't good for a team who are doing very well, as I said at the start. And they're coming up against a team in Montreal. Well, I don't think they're in Montreal. I think it's probably going to be in the Red Bull Arena. So yeah, they're coming up against a Montreal team who are not favourites in this by any chance. So I do agree they aren't going to be Montreal. I'm not all that satisfied in how the season has went. Orlando has looked pretty impressive, so I'll go by what it says in the forums. So Montreal have won in the last 8 games. They've only won 2, whereas Orlando's only won 3. How did Montreal do in their last away game? They got beat by New York City FC, so they're not doing all that great at away. So, and at home, they've lost their last 3. They've lost 2 of their last home games. So yeah, I'm gonna go for Orlando winning this one. So I'll go for like a 2-0 win. Dyke's just playing brilliantly at the moment. It's just now they're keeping that consistency. So I think, yeah, I'll actually go for a 2-1 win. So Orlando should probably win this one. The next one is New England against DC United. This one's quite a strange one. DC United actually won their last 3 games, whichever the hell happened, I do not know. Maybe sacking the manager, perhaps. Yeah, anyway, they're coming up against a New England Revolution team who aren't doing very badly. They got beat by New York Red Bulls, and then they got beat by Nashville away from home, and they're coming up now at home. Their last game they played was probably against the best team in the league at the moment, which is Philadelphia. So their last 2 wins actually after that was away from home, so this could be either way. But I would just suggest this one game's going to be a bit of a tight one, so I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. I think DC United are really pushing for this in the moment, and they could run out of steam because they didn't play that long ago. So yeah, I'm gonna go for a 1-1 draw on that one. Sporting KC against Minnesota. Sporting Kansas City should really win this one, shouldn't they? Shouldn't they? Anyway, yeah, I'll go for Sporting Kansas City winning this one. There are, as I said, the favourites. So I'm gonna go for like I like Toronto, Minnesota. My head's gone. Sporting, yeah, but can I deny them? They're the favourites. I don't know. Minnesota are 11th of a new form sheet, which is pretty impressive. But they are going to be away from home against the Sporting Kansas City team. Yeah, I'll go for a 2. I'm going to go for like a 3-2 win. The Sporting Kansas City. I just think at home they're probably the better team. So yeah, I'll go for that. Sporting KC are 3rd overall, and so yeah, they're probably in a good wee run of form. The next one is Toronto against Inter Miami. I think Inter Miami have Higuain back, so this should be an interesting one. Toronto could really mess this one up again, and if they do, basically I think Philadelphia has won the whole thing quite comfortably. They're coming up. Toronto are not playing at home, so I think that is the reason why they're not functioning all that great. They've lost their last 2 games, which isn't great, even though they didn't get beat by bad teams. So saying that, they're coming up against an Inter team who are definitely not going to be the favourites in this one, who look good on the day, but they just don't have in defence a team that can shut down another team that can really shut down a game. You know, like a Jose Mourinho back in the Chelsea days, where he could have just got the 1 goal and completely closed everything down, shut up shop, parked the bus and everything. I just don't think Inter has that capability. I think they score 1, then they'll go for 2, and then they'll go for 3, and by that time they go for the second one, they're 4-0 down, you know what I mean, or 4-1 down. So Yeah, I think they're struggling at the moment. I think Toronto should win this one, get back in form. So I'm going to go for like a 2-1 win to Toronto. Inter just seems to be scoring goals, but just conceding that one extra. So I'll go for that one. The next one is Colorado against Seattle Sounders. This one was, I think, a rerun of the game that could have happened a couple of weeks ago, which got postponed. I did see Seattle winning that one, but as I said, got postponed. And Seattle now are kind of getting back onto form, whereas Colorado are getting back out of form. So I'll go for a Seattle win in this one. They are the favourites, so I'm going to go for like a 2-0 win to Seattle. They're just probably, as I said, at this part of the season where they start to kick on, and you wouldn't be surprised if to see them in the MLS Cup final, as always. Next one, Portland Timbers against Vancouver or not Cascadia Cup. I think the kid had their own league at this stage, because I think they played each other four times. So Portland should really win this one. They're second in the form league, whatever it is. They are 6th overall, which shows you how badly they started. Yeah, I'll go for a Portland win. I don't see Vancouver actually even not showing up in this game, because they're 16th in overall, but 19th in their form sheets. So I think I like Portland at the moment. They're starting to come together and starting to actually fight like a proper team. So yeah, I'll go for a 3-0 for Portland. They have goal scorers, so that's probably a good thing. Obviously, mind blowing. Yeah, they're in the last 8. They're scoring over more than 2 goals a game. So I'll go for that one. The second last one is LA Galaxy against Real Salt Lake. LA Galaxy are awful, and they're coming up against a team who are not as bad. So LA Galaxy actually could win this one. They are the favourites to win this game, surprisingly. But I'll go for like a 2-0 win to LA Galaxy. Real Salt Lake just don't really seem to be. They seem to be in a bad place at the moment. Not as bad as LA Galaxy, in fairness. LA Galaxy, yeah, I'll go for a 2-0 win to LA Galaxy. God knows really which way that game's going to go. I think as two teams can basically know that there's no point really playing on again, so they just go, hey, yeah, fuck it. The last one is San Jose against LAFC. I think LAFC should probably get this one over the line. LAFC are in the reform ting are 3rd, which is pretty impressive. They've got Vela back now, which is even more for them. Good. And San Jose are 5th in the last form. So saying that, this is going to be a good wee game. I won't be able to see it. I'll watch highlights of it, obviously. San Jose could shock you in this game, but I think LAFC with Vela back again, they could win this one. So I'm going to go for like a 2-1 win to LAFC. I think they have goal scorers, they have a team, and they have their captain, their talisman, their guy who basically digs them out of holes, basically. So I'm going to go for a 2-1 win in that one. I do think San Jose probably score the first goal, and then LAFC will basically just go mental and win that game. So yep, as I said, those are my predictions. If you liked them, if you didn't like them, hit the comments and say, I think such and such is going to win this one. I don't even think you've even got this far. Hello, if you got this far. But anyway, thank you very much for watching me, and I hope to see you on the next one. God knows when that is. I think it was Monday, Tuesday. Anyway, see you then. Bye now.